All right, welcome back to part 3 of the orthographic projection video series here for your first assignment. And this is going to now wrap up and show you how to put in that 45-degree miter line, that projection line, and then block in the side view, add details with construction lines, double check our measurements, and darken and solid object lines. So as I mentioned before, this is the drawing method that we're going to use right here. This is the one we're going to use for all of our drawings. So as you can see here, we blocked in our front view, we blocked in the top view, and now we're going to add in this 45-degree mitered line, our projection line, to now transfer the depth dimension from the top view to the 45-degree line, turn it 90 degrees and come straight downhill to show the depth in the side view. Now, as you can see, the height is already done because the height in the front, where the ruler is for the bottom of the front and the side view, and the top of the two views is the same height. So that height dimension already transfers over. We just now need to bring the depth over and down. Again, we like to drop the top. So any lines that come off of the top view in a construction line format, we run them to that 45-degree miter line, and then we drop them straight down. Again, if you have any questions at any time, take a picture of your work and send it to me. I'm a visual learner. You send me pictures, briefly describe the problem that you're having, and I can, for the most part, figure it out rather quickly versus a written email asking I need help on the front view, the top view, the side view. So send me pictures. I love looking at pictures. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to block in the side view. You can see a multitude of construction lines coming over to the right from the front view here, as well as construction lines coming over to the right out of the top view. So I'm going to show you how to add in that 45-degree miter line, drop the top lines down, and block in that side view. My side view, and again, I'm a visual learner. I love looking at pictures. Makes it much easier for me to read and understand. I've now shaded in the side view in blue. So I'm going to have another L shape. The L shape seems to be a common theme here today. And then a small square in that upper left-hand corner. So the L shape is my near plane, and this square is in my far plane. Now again though, it doesn't stick out. They're always contained in a rectangle. Hence why it's important to use your construction lines and block in where those views go. So, the first thing I need to do now, again, as I did with these two views here, is give that approximate 1-inch spacing in between my views. So I'm going to take my ruler, line it off the front and the top, and I'm going to start down here at the very bottom of where that side view is going to go, and I'm going to stop it at that first edge of my top view, and you'll see why here shortly. So just a very light construction line to show my spacing. So now I have approximately 1 inch in between. Okay? Now, to make sure we have the correct depth transfer from the top to the side, I'm actually going to measure the depth in the side view. Okay? And you'll see why here shortly. So my depth is the same as the top view. It's 1 1/4 for depth here in the side, which is also that same 1 1/4 we use for the depth of the top view. So I'm now going to measure over 1 1/4. And I'm now going to extend those two marks from the bottom edge of my side view here, you can see. And I'm going to run those up, and they're going to stop on the back side of my top view. And I'll show you why here. So we're going to start here, and we're going to come all the way down nice and light. So now I've located that 1 1/4. So that's 1 1/4 depth here, which also is going to be, as you saw in the previous video, 1 1/4 in my top view. So where do I add in now that 45-degree miter line? Well, I've located it. You can see off of this example, from that front edge to that front edge of the top view, we have that intersection located where it says B. This is where B is right here. And I'll actually just write B on here nice and light for you. You don't have to label it. I'm just giving you, again, a visual format here. And then on the back side, or that back edge of your side view, also corresponds with the back edge of the top view. And notice where those two construction lines intersect here, which is A. So I'm going to label the A out here. So, taking your 45-degree triangle, if you have one, and some of you watching this video haven't gotten this triangle yet, possibly, I can take my 45-degree triangle, which is 45 degrees in this upper corner here, 45 degrees down here in this lower corner, and 90 down here. We know a triangle equals 180 degrees. I'm now going to take my 45-degree triangle along the hypotenuse, which is my side over here, and I'm going to take that mitered line, light construction line, and I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, I'm going to label it 45 degrees again to help my visual learners here. And we can see how the example shows AB with 45 degrees. Well, here's that AB at 45 degrees. If you don't have a triangle to use at this time, you can also take your ruler, if you've located A and B, and connect those two coordinates at 45 degrees. If it's not 45 degrees, your dimensions will be incorrect, and the side view has nothing but errors left and right and up and down. So measuring that 45-degree mitered line, that 45-degree projection line, is critical, as well as verifying your measurements in the top view here, because we transfer them over and down for your side view. So, as I mentioned before, we dropped the top. So we dropped this front edge of the top view to the miter and dropped it straight down. We took the back edge of the top view over to the right to the 45-degree miter line, dropped it straight down. And if you notice, I have one more construction line I have not dropped yet, and that shows this detail here. So this one comes to the 45-degree miter line. As you can see on your screen, it doesn't drop down. So that's what's missing. That's the last piece. So here's where your triangle now comes in handy. I can now take my triangle, I can align it here on the bottom of your screen here on my construction line. I can then align it where this construction line intersects that 45-degree miter line, and I can now bring a construction line straight down. Okay, and just to make sure it's correct, I'm going to remeasure, because I know that this detail here is 5/8. So let's verify that measurement. I can verify that measurement in my top view. We can see it's 5/8. That 5/8 is in this section here, comes down, so I'm going to verify my 5/8 right here between those two construction lines. Measure that out, and you can now see on my screen, I'm at 5/8. I'm not exactly 5/8, yet that's okay, because I do give you what we call a tolerance. You get a little bit of error. It's plus or minus a 1/16 of an inch. So your measurement can be under the actual by 1/16, or your measurement can be above the actual, but no more than a 1/16, and still get full credit. So I verified that this is 5/8. So now looking at my shaded side view, I'm now going to block in this L shape here, shaded in blue, and a little square back here. So be very careful not to darken in the incorrect construction lines. So this little square here is this one right here. and then this L shape is located here. It's this construction line from my marking with the pencil that does not get darkened in. So let's darken in our side view. Good heavy dark solid object lines. And again, when I darken in that square, I'm only coming down to this point. And I'm only going back to the left. So that's why it's always important to verify your measurements and understand what gets a solid object line, what may or may not get a hidden line if they're needed, as well as a center line. So I'm going to pick up my ruler. I'm going to add in this solid object line over my construction here. Now again, before I darken in my side view here, it's a small square here. So that line goes from the middle back to the left. So it goes from here to here. This line again does not get filled in. So I'm going to set my ruler up here. Darken in my construction line here. And then I come all the way across the top. This is what drawing number 1 looks like. Completely darkened in solid object lines with 1-inch spacing in between the views, showing all necessary construction lines, multiple locations, as well as showing that 45-degree mitered projection line. This is what your drawing needs to look like when you turn it in for grading. I must see neat, clean, straight lines, dark solid object lines, good sharp corners, no overruns, no open corners, 1-inch spacing in between the views, and I need to see your construction lines. To add in your title, when we're going to letter this out, I'm just going to take my ruler across my lettering here at the bottom. I'm going to make a very short, light construction line for the top of my lettering. I'm going to slide it down here, make that same short, light. And you can see where this is going to go. And then I'm just going to label it number 1. So this is number 1 of your 6 orthographic drawings for your first assignment. So again, I will see these 6 shapes that you now see on your screen laid out in multi-view or orthographic projection, showing me only the front, only the top, and only the side. If again, at any time you have questions, take a picture of your work and email it to me for clarification. I don't want you to do more work than you have to. So this wraps up our 3-part video series of how to draw an orthographic projection, a multi-view drawing in the front, top, and the right-hand side. We'll see you next time.